Hey guys, Anshuman is traveling today, so I'm going to take over the deadline stream. And welcome for the Game 21 deadline stream. And wishing you guys a happy new year just before we start because it's the first stream of the year. And yeah, so let's get started. And how are you guys doing? Uh, it's a, yeah, it's new year, new things, new more FPL. Let's get started about it. Um, and to get us started for this week, the first thing to talk about is the double game week announcement, which has come about an hour back, and I mean there was a bit of drama around it initially. The uh, Brentford Brentford official website did release it and then deleted it, but then there was an official confirmation that Game Week 25 will be a double game week. The second double game week of the season. We had a small double game week earlier with yo. Just a second. I'll just um, remove the music. Let me just figure out how to remove the music. One second. Yeah. I've removed the music. So coming back to the double game week, in game week 25 there will be a double game week for Manchester City and Brentford. If you have not seen it, Manchester City will be playing Chelsea at home and Brentford at home, while Brentford will be playing Manchester City away and Liverpool at home. So it's a pretty tricky double game week for Brentford, but planning to look forward to, and it's been a very very busy week planning because of the Carabao Cup and the FA Cup games, which needed to be followed pretty closely, and seeing what happens. And the Carabao Cup has not told us much about whether Chelsea and Liverpool are comfortably progressing to the final and whether they will be blanking in game week 26. But let's come back to game week 21, and I will be taking questions from now onwards. Captaincy picks. I think this is this is a fair game week where you don't have your big hitters in Salah and Haaland and Son as well. So there can captaincy can be a roll of the dice. Palmer is definitely a good option. Saka is a great option as well, and even the City guys, Foden and Alvarez, are pretty good options this week. And not a week where you could expect a haul from any of your captains, but I think Saka just edges there as the best captain for me, which is why in the screen in my team he is going to be the captain. Um, Okay, now I'll take some questions. Uh, Bowen update. Bowen will be missing this game week, and we should be looking for more news around Bowen when the press conference comes uh, in the middle of the game week. So some rumors were there saying that he's around out for around a month. Uh, contrasting news, but we can wait for some press conference from Moyes. I would definitely not buy Bowen, and if I do have Bowen, he's not a priority sell. He can be benched this week if your bench is strong enough. Uh, yeah. So coming to Fede's question, play Pau or Garnacho slash Solanke. I'd play the attacker, and I'd probably play Solanke since he has been in great form and he's playing as the talisman for Bournemouth. Garnacho has recently gone out to the right wing, and I'm not sure his effectiveness from there. He's a great asset to own at that price point, but for this week I'd be starting Solanke. Jota, I think he is a decent pick because uh, even historically, when Salah has gone to the Afcon, Jota has stepped up for Liverpool and scored goals, and Jota has been looking sharp. That being said, the fixtures are bit congested for Liverpool, and they do have the second round of the Carabao Cup, which is not done. They have an FA Cup game in the middle, and they have difficult fixtures around, and where you might see Jota being dropped here or there. So I don't think he's the best option, but he's definitely a good option, and he will probably be the talisman for Liverpool alongside maybe Darwin for this period when Salah's not there. But I think Richarlison is, as no, a lot of you are speaking about Richarlison. I'll just touch upon Richarlison as well. I think he's slightly the better pick when it comes to the midfielders. I think Foden is the best pick for me, and then I think it's Richarlison because he will be playing as a number nine. He could be on penalties for Spurs, and Spurs fixtures are good, and so around these they don't have Carabao Cup headache as well, so there will be good rest for Richarlison, and I expect him to play more minutes because the last 3 4 weeks he's actually been subbed off in the 70th 75th minute, but now I think he'll probably play a little longer. So I'd say Richarlison slightly above Jota, but Foden is my number one pick for Salah and Son replacements. Let me take Watsel's team. So his team is Flecken, Ariola, Moreno, Colwell, Udogi, Livra, Kabore, Saka, Salah, Palmer, Richarlison, Bowen, Watkins, Solake, Mope. Two free transfers and 7.1 in the bank. What moves to make? I'd probably yeah, I think I might remove Bowen here and keep hold of Salah for this week and probably do Bowen to a Foden and the other one maybe a Mope. Maybe that you can do Haaland for that next week. Maybe do a defensive transfer because I think Livramento might be a rotation risk as well. So I probably bring in Estupinan, uh, eh, who has a great run of fixtures uh, starting from this week, and slight fortune change of Brighton's defensive and clean sheet keeping capability, maybe, but also I think he'd probably be uh, definitely an attacking threat, and he's been looking sharp. As soon as he came back, he scored a couple of bangers as well. So I think Estupiñán probably top for my defensive assets, and other than that, maybe even a Walker from City. Foden or Richarlison. Foden means I can't get Haaland on a free next week. I'd say Richarlison because I think Haaland might be a priority by next week if he's back fit. That being said, he might not be fit, and it is a while later. It's not anytime soon, but after that, the fixtures do pile up. And I have made the transfer to Foden because also that after the double game week announcement uh, for Manchester City, Trent replacement. I'd say hold Trent if you have a good bench. If you want a replacement, I'd say Estupinan is on the top. Um, will KDB start? There are rumors that say that KDB might start, but I don't think he's an FPL option yet because I don't see him starting regular like every game from now till March. Maybe a game or two here and there, and I think he'll start to ease in because from what KDB had said also, it doesn't seem like he will be starting every game in from now as soon as he's fit. So I'd be cautious about that. So I don't think KDB is an option yet. He might become an option, maybe even for the double game week, but he's not an option yet. Kulusevski instead of Richarlison is not. It's not a bad option as well, but Richarlison is more central. Richarlison is a little bit cheaper, and Richarlison is involved. He's getting he's hawking the XG for the team, which where a lot of these people are creating chances for him. But Kulusevski is not a bad shout as well. But Richarlison is top for me. Bowen ahead of Salah to get in Foden. Removing, yeah, I'd say remove Bowen ahead of Salah because especially if you can bring in Haaland without removing Salah, I think it will be fine because we'll get more news come next game week on whether Salah how Egypt are doing in the African Cup of Nations. So I'd probably remove Bowen ahead of Salah. Have Bowen, Son, Ta, Maguire. So is wildcarding a good idea? I don't think wildcard this week is a good idea because there are weeks where you could gain ranks and a lot of double game weeks and blank game weeks to navigate, and it might be much more difficult if you use up your wildcard now. So I'd say hold on the wildcard, maybe even take a -4 if necessary, and like count on players like Gordon uh, this week to come on and play as well. So it's not necessarily that you need to bench even your Newcastle defenders or a Gordon. So yeah, that's there. What midfield you would have on a wild card? I'd probably not do a wild card, but if I did a wild card, I'd probably have the four midfielders who I do have, who are Saka, Foden, Palmer, and Richarlison, and probably the fifth midfielder. I might have maybe a Jota over there. I might throw in a Jota over there. Let me take the team sent over here. Ariola, Gabriel, Poro, Colwell, Estupinian, Palmer, Gordon, Foden. Alvarez, Watkins, Solanke, bench Turner, Branthwaite, Bowen, Salah. Would you play Branthwaite or Gordon? I'd play Gordon because he's an attacker. And other transfers, I think I'd hold the other transfer if you have a free transfer and take it over to next week. We'll get more information around Salah, around Haaland fitness, and a lot of other things. Jota, Diaz, and then should I captain one over Saka, Gross, or Watkins? I think there is a case for Liverpool players also to be captains, but I'd probably still captain Saka. I think he's the best. Arsenal have pretty much a good time of rest, and Saka has been looking pretty sharp over the last 4 game weeks. Although he's not returned so much, he's been looking pretty sharp over the last 4 game weeks. His numbers have gone up, and even though Arsenal have been a little shaky, Saka looks a little more central. He's creating a lot of chances as well. So, and he's on penalties occasionally. He gives them away, but still, I think he's the best captaincy this week. Um, I don't. After Saka, I'd probably say Palmer is the best captain because he's looking in form. Even in the Carabao Cup game, I think he should have scored a goal or two, and he had great chances. He's looking right on it. He's on penalties. He's creating a lot of chances, and everything in Chelsea is currently going through Palmer. So I think Palmer is the best captaincy option after Saka. Foden or Jota in, I think it's a 50-50 over here, but the double game week announcement and not blanking in 26 adjusted towards Foden, and he's in form. He has good fixtures as well, and I don't think he's as much a rotation risk as probably Alvarez at this point. But we should be sitting and seeing what Pep does with De Bruyne as well back. I don't think Foden is 100% assured for minutes, but I think he's in good form and he'll continue playing at this rate. Um, I already brought in Bowen and KDB, but Bowen is injured now, so -4 for Foden. Yeah, probably I'd take it because Bowen wouldn't play, especially if you don't have a playing 11. If you have a playing 11, you can put Bowen in your bench and do that. But if you don't have a playing 11, then I'd probably take a -4. Richarlison in for Gordon, Foden or Palmer. I mean I wouldn't remove Foden or Palmer, so probably Gordon if you want Richarlison, but he's more of a Salah or Son replacement if you have either of those two. Is Taylor starting against Luton? I'll look for early team news and discuss about it, but from the latest press conference we got from company, uh, I, I don't think it's as positive to see whether he start or not, but he could start. So there's no concrete news around it. I will look for team leaks and let you know about it. Joao Pedro for captain this week. He is an outside shout for a captain, and if you think there are not going to be too many too many ranks you lose by not captaining Saka or Palmer, and I feel like it's a risk that could be worth taking. Joao Pedro does look good as well, and he's a decent differential option to also buy. But I think Watkins, Solanke, and the third option should be left for Haaland when he comes back fit. So that's why I don't think I'll be touching Joao Pedro. Richarlison or Foden for Son. Foden I think Foden I adjusted over Richarlison, but I think both are very good options. Taken a risk to try catch up in mini league. Done Salah, Son, Trippier, and Osula to Foden, Jota, Estupinian, and Joao Pedro for -1. Yeah, I wish you luck, Smithers. I think it's a good transfer. You are removing players who are not going to be around for players who are going to be around and are pretty good options. Yeah, I'm wishing you luck to catch up some rank. I think it's not the worst move. I think you have gotten good players. How about Foden captain outside shout? I think Foden is a good captain as well, but I think Saka is a better captain. Have Senesi, Taylor, Ta in defense. Should I start Taylor or sell one of Senesi, Ta for -4? I'd sell one of I'd probably sell Senesi, and if you have the money to get Estupinian, I'd do that for a -4. I'd go for Jota instead of Foden, Palmer, Watkins, Richarlison. Um, as a captain, maybe yeah, maybe if you think you're confident, you can go for Jota as well. I think Saka is probably the best captain, and after that you can really roll the dice between a lot of good options this week, and don't expect a big haul from any of these because these are not your Salah or Haaland who would regularly give it, and here and there could be some variance around. But yeah, I mean, it's a week where captaincy is not easy to predict. Um, Coming to more questions, should I play Turner or Pickford? Pickford plays Aston Villa and Turner plays Brentford. I play Pickford still. Turner might not play. I mean, there's been a role at the keepers for Nottingham Forest. I think he's played the last few games, but I'd still start Pickford because home fixture, and Aston Villa are not the best team away from home. That they are much a force at home. Rea, I'll take Kaizen's team. Rea, Moreno, Gusto, Gabriel, Richarlison, Foden, Palmer, Saka, Solanke, Alvarez, Watkins, Ariola, Salah, Trent, Brentford. Should I roll? Yeah, I think the team is good to roll. If Moreno will be starting because Dean is out, but yeah, I think it's good to roll, and yeah, uh, that's your answer. Would you go Tony or Pedro on a wild card? If you're wild carding, then I probably might like. So your plan should be to get Haaland in at some point as well. You have Watkins. So generating the money for Tony, who's 7.9, might not be too easy. If you still have a plan around how to get Haaland and maybe Salah around when he's back, then maybe you can go for Tony. But if not, and if you want for an enabler, then Pedro is a very good option as well. I got JP. JP is Joe Pedro. Okay, Watkins, Solanke. I can play two. Suggest. Anyone else you could bench, because I think all three are good options. And if you want to bench one of these, I'd probably bench Solanke because he has a toughest fixture. Salah and Son out and Foden and Jota in. I think yeah, it's fine. I've also removed Salah and Son this week actually. I've brought in Saka for Son, who I didn't have, and I've brought in Foden for Salah. So all good. You've gotten Jota instead. Captain Foden or Palmer, I edge it towards Palmer, but Foden is a good captain as well. Saka, I think, is the best captain this week. Would you go Salah to Jota and play him over Solanke? Yeah, I could do that, but I'd also say hold Salah for now, because if you have one free transfer, especially, and if you can play a team, I'd not say waste the transfer, but hold the transfer. That I think that would be a little better than just making the transfer, because you'll have more news about all these players next week, and that transfer could come in handy. Ansh's team is Ariola, Dubravka, Poro, Zinchenko, Ta, Maguire, Taylor, um, Salah, Saka, Son, Gordon, Palmer, Archer, Solanke, Watkins. Two free transfers. Who should I bring in? Four defenders flagged. Okay, that's pretty unfortunate. I think Poro is the only defender who probably is fit, and probably might take a -4 over here. I think you can play Archer this week. He's very much playable this week. You can play Gordon as well. So you probably remove one of Son and Salah, and then use that money to upgrade your defense. Maybe keep Zinchenko. He might be fit. He might not. There was news ahead of the Liverpool game where Arteta did say that he could be featuring. So there might be better news around it. Where's Anshuman? Anshuman's actually traveling today, so I've taken the game week 21 deadline stream. Friend to Estupinian to play over Gusto. Again, if you, I don't think I'd waste the transfer there. I think Gusto is very much playable this week as well. He has a good fixture, and he's been looking a little sharp among the Chelsea players over the last few weeks. So last couple of weeks. So I think I probably do. I wouldn't force the transfer to remove Trent. And also, guys, if you are keeping Trent, and you have the bench, like I'm doing, I'd probably start Trent, because from what we know from what Pep Linders said in the press conference before the Fulham game, is that Trent is out for weeks, and that could be 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. The more realistic return is the Chelsea game and maybe the Arsenal game, but I think there could be an outside chance because Liverpool are playing next week. So just starting Trent to be on the safer side, it might not be the worst idea. And anyways, the auto sub will happen if he doesn't play. Play Gusto or Branthwaite. I'd play Gusto. Sterling starts. I think it's a bit odd seeing him benched and not come off. I do expect him to start, and I will hold him if I have him. Bowen to Gordon. Gordon not a great entry point. he has next two fixtures are not the best, but after that he does have good fixtures. And I might look at Richarlison, Palmer if you don't have them. I am on wildcard. Please suggest the goalkeeper and defense line. Goalkeeper, I think Ariola has slightly gotten better in the last few weeks. He's kept clean sheets. So if you had Ariola, I'd stick with Ariola. Other than that, I think if you, I think Edison is a bit costly having the double game week. Flecken does have the double game week, so I might go with Flecken. But I don't think Brentford have been great as well. So there are not too many keepers that come around over here. So I probably go for a Neto from Bournemouth, who also might have a double game week soon. So I'd probably say Neto and Ariola. The others defense, I think Poro, one of the Arsenal defenders, Estupinian. I think are great options to have. You can have uh, other than that, maybe a City defender, throw one in like Walker or Ake, because they have the double game week as well. So that's where I would go around that. So Maguire to Estupinian and Son slash Salah to Foden. Yeah, I think I would do that because Maguire is flagged and Son Salah wouldn't play as well, and Estupinian and Foden are good options to bring in. KDB starts. There is a good chance that KDB could start this week. There are some rumors that say that KDB could start, but yeah, there is a good chance that he starts. Who to captain? As I mentioned again, I think the captaincy order for me is Saka is the best captain. Then Palmer. Then I think comes Foden is a decent option as well. Watkins is a good option, and so is Alvarez. So that's where it goes. And even a Liverpool player can throw them in. Yeah, a captain Saka even with this form. That's one thing I've also been discussing, because I think Saka's numbers over the last 4 weeks have actually improved over what it was before that. And even with Arsenal not being great, I think they've had enough rest for them to come back. And Saka is looking much sharper than he did a little before. So I think he's probably the best captain this week. Keep Bowen or Solanke in the 11. So start Solanke because Bowen is not going to play this week. Doku starts, good chance he starts, but never know. Start Gordon or replace Son to Foden slash Richarlison for -4. I wouldn't take a hit. I will start Gordon and wait for more information this week. And I don't think it's the worst of fixtures to not. I don't think Foden or Richarlison have the best of fixtures as well. They play away from home against fairly decent opposition. So I wouldn't take a -4 to do that. Coming to Vatsal's team, I think Moreno, Colville, and Udogi in starting 11 with Livla and Kabore on bench. Is it okay to go with this defense and save extra transfer and money for Haaland next week? Yes, I think it's optimal. I don't think it's the worst defense to go with this week. Zinchenko or Brathwaite, which ones to start or bench? I'd start Zinchenko and pray that he starts, he plays. But if not, then Brathwaite automatically comes on. So I'll definitely start Zinchenko. Would you say -8 is worth saving a wild card for later double and blank game weeks? Yeah, definitely. If you don't have 11, even taking a -8 is not bad, because there is rank to be gained later in the season. So yeah, I'd say around a -8 is also not bad. But I try to avoid it if even if I have a Gordon or a Newcastle defender, I just start them and avoid a -8. But if everyone is flagged and you need to make the transfers, just think about it as someone who's not going to play, and you're paying that 4 points, that 4 points to bring in someone who's going to play. So that then automatically you get 2 points, and there needs to be only a little more that the player has to get. Gusto or Brathwaite? I'd start Gusto. Yeah. So the other thing which we need to move towards uh, the next few weeks, I think, is also the blank game week 26, which might occur around like whoever qualifies for the Carabao Cup. So Chelsea play Tottenham in game week 26, and Liverpool play Luton. So if Chelsea and Liverpool are going to play in the Carabao Cup final, then this match will be a blank game week that time, and it could there are chances that this game week could also be played in game week 25. That means in game week 25 you might see Liverpool, City both double, and there's a good chance that maybe Chelsea and Spurs double as well. But that's not a high enough chance. But let's see how the Carabao Cup goes. So it's definitely to keep an eye on the Carabao Cup and even the FA Cup games, and make sure you don't use up your transfers, because the next deadline after today is 18 days later, and we'll get a lot of information around the Carabao Cup and the FA Cup. So saving the transfer this game week and also not making these early transfers this game week, I think, will be optimal because of the because of the amount of information we're going to get because before the next game week deadline. And I think that's going to be pretty important. And also there'll be players playing next week, not this week, and you could see some injuries over there. So my advice is to forget about FPL until making transfers until late, uh, after the FA Cup games are over. So that will be a couple of weeks at least, so you can enjoy and not think about transferring any player in or out. I'll come back to taking the questions now. Who to start? Turner or Dubravka? I'd probably start Turner because Brentford and City will definitely be the favorites to beat Newcastle, but I wouldn't expect a clean sheet in either way. Who to pick to play, Gross, Porro, or Gusto? Um, I'm not sure if I need to pick one or two. If it is one, then I'd probably just pick Gross because he's the attacker and he has a good fixture. And if it's two, then I'd pick Gross and Poro. I'll Poro slightly over Gusto because of the attacking threat, and United are not the best defense. De Bruyne fit. He is fit. He could start, but he's not an FPL option yet. Um, Areola over Flecken to start. Yeah, I am doing Areola over Flecken because I don't think Brentford have been great defensively over the last few weeks. They have been a little unlucky. Their numbers are not bad, like weren't bad before, but the last 2-3 weeks they had their numbers have also gone down, which makes Areola, who's been in form, West Ham have slightly been better, and now with Bowen, Kudus, and Paqueta all missing out, um, might be again much more defensive approach, and I do expect a bit of a cagey game between West Ham and Sheffield United. So I think Ariola edges it over Flecken, but Flecken might be a good option also. So I don't think I think Nottingham Forest at home might be a clean sheet fixture as well. But I think Ariola is slightly edges it because of the form he is in. Should I go captain with Tony? Yeah, very good outside shout. If you have Tony, you could probably captain him. Uh, yeah, I think he will be thrown into the team because of how good a player is he is, and also around all the transfer speculations. And they will be it will be good to see him back and playing. So yeah, best captains this week. I've mentioned it before. I think Saka is the best captain. Palmer is the second best, and then others. But I don't think there's a clear standout captain. Out of Pau, Taylor, and Darwin, who else would be starting? I'll definitely start Darwin Nunes because yeah, I think he will be a bit central for Liverpool as well. So Darwin definitely. Pau, Taylor, I'd start Pau because I don't think Taylor will be fit. Pau has been training, so Pau will be probably restarting. Is Gabriel expected to start? Yes. So Tony or João Pedro? Yeah, I think if you have Tony, are you Bero? Are you asking me whether who I should captain or who I should transfer in? If it's captain, then I mean both of them are decent shouts and good differentials. If it is to transfer in, I think probably Joe Pedro because lesser money and you can save it up to bring in Haaland and Salah in the next few weeks. But to captain, I think both of them might be okay captains this week. Although Saka, as I've been mentioning, is the best captain. They are not bad differential captains. Thank you, Vatsal. Good luck for you as well on your team. Saurav, question is, should I hold Salah? Is it worth it? I have Salah, Foden, Palmer, Richarlison, Huang. Huang is also going to the Asia Cup, so I think maybe Huang out could be a good move. Should I? If you have the money to sell Huang to get Saka, I would definitely do it. If not, maybe I would sell Salah. But holding Salah and getting more information in the next 18 days, which is a long time, will be a smart thing to do. Dubravka or Turner? I start Turner. Best to cap this week, I mentioned it, Saka, and then Palmer, and then the rest. Who to start? Palmer, Foden, Jota, Gross, and Richarlison. Just one on bench. Benching any of these five, I think it's pretty difficult. Nah, I think it's pretty difficult. I'll probably bench Gross because he's not like the other four are pretty more exciting picks, have more ceiling than Gross. Doughty or Poro, whom to start? Doughty, Luton. Who do Luton play this week? Luton are playing Burnley and Poro Manchester United, but Poro has the slightly more attacking threat, although Doughty has been pretty good attacking as well. But Poro plays for the better team, so I'd probably start Poro. And Poro is just creating chances everywhere for Spurs. He's on set pieces. So I think Poro slightly edges it because he plays for Spurs. And I don't have Saka. Who should I cap? Foden or Palmer, Alvarez? I think Palmer is slightly the better captain, but Foden and Alvarez are also very good captains. So I mean, as I've been mentioning, it's a week where sorry, I think I just got disconnected. I'm back. If luck goes your way, I think you get good points. If it doesn't, then just go to next week and try to look at the next captain. But I just think that Palmer might slightly be the better option because he looks like the talisman for Chelsea right now, and City every now and then might be shared of goals, but I don't think, and they have the much more difficult fixture as well. Play Archer or take a -4 for a midfielder to replace Son this week. I'd play Archer. I think he's playable rather than taking a -4. Thanks to you too, and Pero, thank you for the subscribers as well. And I'd also like request all of you to who haven't subscribed yet to please subscribe for the channel and hit the like button if you're liking the stream. And we will be discussing more FPL in the new year and trying to come up with new, more different video and more contents on your way soon. And let's all enjoy another great year of FPL, and because we have lots of fun playing the game, and it's great fun discussing it as well. Konsa or Ake, whom to start? I'd start Ake. How many game weeks are we expecting Salah and Son to miss? Yes, very good point. Um, so the African Cup of Nations and Asia Cup will be starting this weekend, and we will be looking at around, if they do go to the semi-finals, we will be looking at the next 4 game weeks. And if they do exit in the quarterfinals, we'll be looking at the next 3 game weeks. And if they exit in the group stages, they could be returning as soon as next game week. But I think both South Korea, I mean, looking at the popular assets which are Salah and Son, look going for South Korea and Egypt, they have good groups, and they can be uh, fairly assumed to progress through their groups. So we could see them miss 2 or 3 game weeks. But keep an eye on the fixtures, on what's happening in the African Cup of Nations, and all the players who are over there. Yeah, and look at them. So that's why I think if you can hold Salah and or Son this week, I think holding Salah is a priority to holding Son. But there's two things to this. So if you have the money to bring in Haaland by holding Salah, I would definitely hold Salah. But if you don't, then selling Salah and holding Son makes sense. But if you can hold both and still have the money, suppose if you don't have Trent, then I could hold both. And if you have a playable team, I'll play that, because we will get more information in the coming days. Is Livra starting against Man City? I think he has been let's look at Livramento. I think he was benched in one of the game weeks, and Burn is back. So not sure about Livramento starting, but he's been playing pretty well. He played the 90 against Liverpool, but didn't start any of the previous two games, and he has been playing pretty well for them. So that there could be a good chance that he starts, but not too sure. No, like I would not sell him this week for a -4, but I would not start him ahead of any other starting defenders as well. That's my question. So that we have 15 more minutes for the deadline today. It's actually 15 minutes earlier than our usual Friday night deadlines this year at different times. But yeah, I mean, I'd suggest everyone to lock your teams, set your captains, make your transfers, and yeah, and all the good stuff around it. And please hit the like button if you haven't done it yet. Should I buy Consa or Moreno or Walker for long term? Um, I'd say Walker because because City have the double game week coming up. They have very good fixtures, and Walker has started every minute this season. Clean sheet wise, Walker is pretty good, but he's not the most attacking of fullbacks. And that being said, anywhere around City's defense is either a rotation risk or like very low upside. So I'd still just go with Walker, who you have minutes assured. Hold or sell Bowen. I if you again if you have playable players around, I'll hold Bowen because there might be a good chance he comes back. But otherwise, if you want to bring in a Foden or a Saka or a Palmer or a Charlison, I think they are good options to bring in by selling both. So we have around 13, 12 minutes left. So yeah, will Jota start? I expect Jota to start because of the rest of the 10-day rest Liverpool are getting from the Fulham home game to this game. So I do expect Jota to start this week, and he has been looking sharp. And as I did mention before, I think he was the one who took the responsibility of scoring goals, winning Liverpool games when Salah and Mane, in fact, did go to the African Cup of Nations 2 years back. So he will be bringing that confidence into him, and he does look sharp. He does look confident, and he does look on it right now. And I think he will start. He's not a bad option. The only two issues are the fixtures, which is Chelsea home, which is not the worst fixture after all, and then Arsenal away in the next 2 game weeks, and also the congestion around it with the Fulham game in the Carabao Cup, which is not the tie is not over yet, and Liverpool will probably play a full strength to see off that tie, and also the other FA Cup game which is there, which Liverpool do not have the toughest of fixtures, but still another fixture to worry about in the middle of all these Premier League games. So yeah, so that's the worry about Jota, but I think he will start against Bournemouth, and I think he should be starting the Premier League games as well because of his importance to the team. Okay, guys. I think I will be closing the deadline stream 10 minutes before the deadline. Um, since most of the questions are done. And yeah, I think as I did mention before, just wait for the next deadline, and and then think about your transfers because I don't think it's worth transferring early this week specifically because there are 18 days before you can make your transfer and think about it. You'll get a lot of information from African Cup of Nations, Asia Cup, Carabao Cup, FA Cup. Just watch, follow these games for your FPL information, and also watch the 2 game week spread out. And you have a lot of good games to watch as well this weekend. Need to get rid of two between Son, Salah, and Bowen. I'd probably get rid of Son and Bowen again as thinking if you do have the money for Haaland otherwise. If not, I'd get rid of Salah. Are Richarlison and Foden good replacements? Definitely yes. Start Raya or Areola? I start Raya because Arsenal are the best defense in the league. Even though they are not being uh, been in good form, I expect them to turn it around, and I think they are the best defense in the league. They have a great home fixture, and you should start your Arsenal assets if you have them. Bruno Fernandes, Rashford, or Gross. I mean, I would like to touch upon the United assets as well. Might be. I think the last couple of games they've looked a little promising with the new formation, and Bruno and Rashford are not the worst options. But that being said, I think we have been in that PTSD over the over the season with Bruno and Rashford and United as well. So and they are expensive. So I would keep the money, especially if you don't have the money to bring in Haaland, or if you can hold on to Salah and stuff. So I think Gross might edge that for me, but I think if you don't have Richarlison, Foden, Palmer, you probably should bring one of them. Any Jesus news? I think Jesus is back in training, so that's why I'm starting Jesus in my team. And he will be so Arsenal camp has gone to Dubai, and he will be around with the camp and playing training with them. So you expect Jesus to be in the squad for the Crystal Palace home game. Like, excuse me, guys. Yeah, sorry. So yeah, I think whether he starts or not is another question, but Jesus probably will be in the squad for the game. Start two of Poro, Doherty, Gusto, and Bell. I'd start Poro and Gusto. Gabriel, Colwell, Walker, Udogi. Start three. Walker, Gabriel, and Colwell. I'll bench Udogi for this week. Um, Poro and Udogi, I think sorry, guys, I lost you again. But Poro and Udogi play for the same team, but Poro looks like the more attacking of the two. He's on set pieces. He's creating a lot of chances. He should get a. He's due a goal as well. He has been looking very threatening, and he was due a goal. He scored a blinder in the FA Cup. So he's also due a goal in the Premier League, and he has been very much among the assisting charts also. So I think Poro is great, but Udogi I'd probably bench him. Do you expect Werner to get minutes? Yeah, early on he will. He's come to Spurs to be a useful asset, useful attacking option, especially when Son is out, especially when they've been getting a lot of injuries as well. But will he start regularly? I doubt it, because I think uh, the form Richarlison is in, he's gaining confidence, he's looking better, and Johnson, Kulusevski are also like probably good enough, and they've been playing well enough to keep that starting position. And once until Son is out, Werner might play in the left. But after that, I think it looks difficult because Richarlison will also be back. Madison will also be back, and Johnson can play left and right. So and when Son is back as well, so I don't think he'll get as much minutes. But again, you could get injuries here and there. So he will definitely get minutes, and he will be a very useful asset for Spurs, and it'll be very very interesting to see how he fits into this team, and what lies ahead for him. Who to captain? Saka, then Palmer, then maybe your other assets. Joao Pedro in, I think he's a good asset to buy, especially, I mean, if you want a very short term and wait until Haaland is back and you have the money for Haaland, you can just bring him in as the third striker. But if you think it will block you from getting Haaland in the future, then I might avoid it. And if you have transfers to make elsewhere with Son and Salah and Trent and Bowen being well, a lot of like popular headaches around transferring this week. But if you don't have any of those headaches, then Joao Pedro is not a bad transfer in. How's Gross as a captain? Outside shout, but yeah, I mean it's pretty risky. I think just go for the obvious ones in Saka, Foden, And Palmer, I think they are the better captains. And Gross, yeah, very much outside shout. If you have Pedro, I think he's a good captain from Brighton, but I don't think Gross is the best captain to put your armband on this week. Why not captain Watkins? Definitely, I think Everton are struggling a little bit over the last few weeks, but Sean Dyche has I mean, just before that, when like I think Everton have had a very mixed run. Firstly, they won like 4 games in a row with by keeping clean sheets. They beat United. I no sorry, they beat Chelsea in that stretch. But I think they have gotten weak in the last few weeks. But I don't think he's the best captain because I think Saka and Palmer are better options, especially because Villa also plays away from home and their record away from home has not been the best. But Watkins has been only behind Salah and Haaland when it comes to the when it comes to attacking returns since the start of last season, and he's been amongst the goals and the assists this season. So he's not a bad captain at all. I think he should be right up there with Foden and Alvarez. If you want to look at a captain outside Saka and Palmer, because I think Saka and Palmer are the best two, but after that I think it should be it should be fairly okay captaining Watkins. Who to start, Ariola or Rea, please? I think Rea should be the one you should start because he plays for Arsenal and Arsenal are a great defensive team. So yeah, guys, it's all like 3 minutes to deadline. So lock in your transfers, lock in your captain, and please be ensure that you don't have you don't miss out on anything. Yeah. Okay, if that's all with the questions, I think I will end the stream. Okay, who to captain, Saka or Odegaard? I'd say again, as I've been saying, I think Saka is the best captaincy option this week. So I'll captain Saka. Uh, so yeah, and with that, I will end the deadline scream. Good luck to you guys and happy New Year again. And let's see. We'll be trying to make content in the next few weeks because it's a long 18-day gap as well between this deadline and next deadline. So see you again soon. And until then, good luck with your game week and have a good time. Bye bye.